The convenience store is on the other side of the street. There seems to be something wrong with this computer. I hear his latest novel is not selling very well. I do not think many people can do without mobile phones. You should apologize to your friend right away for what you did. The cause of the patient's death remains a big mystery. My car is unreliable. It keeps breaking down. In hot weather, milk goes sour if it is not kept in the refrigerator. I do not like those oranges. They taste too sour. Some people do not like eels just because they look like snakes. An elephant has a long trunk and a rabbit has long ears. I will miss you badly if you go away. We discuss what should be done next but do not reach a decision. Last year's earthquake caused serious damage to the central part of the city. I am sure a cup of coffee will wake you up. The loud music kept me from getting much sleep last night. She says her husband sometimes helps her with the housework. The TV weather report says that it is going to rain this afternoon. I hope Mr. and Mrs. Tanaka come to my birthday party tonight. I would appreciate it if you could call the airline and reserve seats for me. Please explain to me why you failed to come yesterday. I owe him some money and have to pay him back by the weekend. Experts say too much exercise does us more harm than good. A short walk will give my father a good appetite. His attempt to save the drowning girl cost him his life. A glance at the map will tell you where you are. When he asked me to marry him, I thought he was joking. We leave the front door open all day but keep the back door closed. I thought the film was nonsense, but my girlfriend found it interesting. You should make sure that he is at home before you call on him. The doctor advised me neither to drink nor to smoke. I don't want there to be any misunderstandings between us. Avoiding excess calories will help you maintain a good figure. I'd like these pieces of furniture sent to my house by the weekend. His medicine will make you feel much better. If you're a good boy, we'll let you watch television tonight. Did you paint the wall by yourself? No, I had my brother help me. I've never had such a terrible thing happen to me before. I had my son examined at a nearby clinic yesterday. I shouted loudly, but I couldn't make myself heard across the large room. The governor finally let it be known that he was going to resign. I didn't notice you come in because I was watching TV. Did you turn off the stove? I think I can smell something burning. Yesterday I saw that boxer knocked down for the first time. As I was passing the front gate, I could hear my name being called. My parents died only a month after I was born and my grandparents brought me up. The suspect was seen breaking into the main building last night. 2 people were killed and 3 seriously injured in the explosion. The post office was robbed yesterday, but only a small sum of money was taken. I had my passport stolen while traveling in Italy several years ago. Women all over the world suffer from sexual harassment in many different forms. He's rather conservative, that's why he belongs to that political party. My car's being repaired, so I'll borrow my brother's. She is always saying unpleasant things about other people behind their backs. My boss didn't want to see me because he was having lunch. Someone's knocking on the door. I'll go and see who it is. This time next year I'll be working for a trading company in Tokyo. I'm going to travel around Hokkaido this coming summer. I'm visiting a friend of mine in Kyoto this weekend. The concert starts at 6:30. Let's hurry or we'll be late. Taro's absent today. He's gone to Hokkaido. Have you ever been to Hawaii? No, I never have. I lived in China for about 5 years when I was young, but I can't speak Chinese at all. I have a cousin in Tokyo, but I haven't met him for about 10 years. So you know my uncle. How long have you known him? Mr. Suzuki has been teaching here ever since he came to Tokyo 25 years ago. I recognized him right away because I had seen him on TV quite a few times. We'd been married for 2 years when we had our first child. I hadn't seen him for about a year when he died. I hadn't been sleeping half an hour when the phone rang. My son had hardly lain down on the bed when he fell asleep. I lost my camera the other day. I had bought it only 3 days before. The new home will have been built by the end of the month. Next year my father will have been working for this company for 30 years. I'll let you know as soon as I get the tickets for the football match. When we've had lunch, let's go shopping in Shibuya. Didn't I tell you to lock the door before you went to bed? I canceled the trip to Kyoto 3 days before I was going to leave. Weren't you taught at school that whales are mammals? Of course I was. What made you think Hiroko was married? She's single. If it were not for water, no living thing could exist. If you hadn't had to go to school yesterday, what would you have done? If you hadn't eaten so much, you wouldn't be so sleepy now. If I were Hanako, I wouldn't have married such a terrible alcoholic. If he took the first train, he'll probably get here in 30 minutes or so. If you should win 600 million yen in the lottery, let me have half of it. If an opening were to arise, I'd like to apply for it. Everyone in the Suzuki family treats me kindly as if I were a family member. My son doesn't do well at school. I wish he studied harder. If only my father had seen a doctor a little earlier. I'm going out on a date this afternoon. How I wish the rain would stop. Do you mind if I smoke? I'd rather you didn't. It's time you earned your own living. I can't afford to support you anymore. The doctor recommended yesterday that I give up drinking and smoking. It is advisable that every driver wear a seatbelt while driving. At first Janet didn't like sashimi, but now she does. He has a lot of faults, but still I can't help liking him. You cannot emphasize the importance of friendship too much. I could swim across this river when I was in my 20s. Yesterday I left the office before 11, so I was able to catch the last train. We used to work in the same shop and would often have coffee together. We just moved to a new house. You must come and see us. It's a holiday today, so we don't have to go to school. You had better not walk around in such a dangerous place at night. You shouldn't go to school with such a terrible cold. They are so lazy. The job should have been finished hours ago. You shouldn't have lent him money. He never pays his debts. What she says can't be true because she's always telling lies. My father might be waiting for me at the station now. I may have met him somewhere before, but I can't recall where. My brother says he's decided not to go to France. Why have they stopped seeing each other? They had a big fight. Please don't forget to feed the goldfish every 3 days when I'm away. Every time I travel abroad, I regret not studying English harder when I was young. I tried to shout out help, but the word stuck in my throat. This problem is so complicated that I don't know where to start. All you have to do is wash the dishes. I'll do everything else. Can we meet today? I've got something important to tell you. Could you give me something to carry these apples in? My friend came all the way to my office to discuss the plan with me. I hurried to the airport so as not to miss the flight, but it was too late. Be careful not to catch a cold because you have a job interview next week.